So my name's Daniel. I work for GS1 UK in a partnerships and community role. So essentially, what my job is to look after our 58,000 members to make sure they're all happy and help them in any way we can, which is one of the reasons we're here today, because we had a request, and something we're finding quite often with our members is they're struggling to keep up with all the changes that are happening at Amazon. Lorna, who I work with, is an engagement manager who focuses around marketplaces, so does a lot of work with our members and Amazon and all the issues they have listing. And in partner, we are with Kevin from Fuel My Website, and yeah, he is a Amazon specialist, I think is the best way to put it. So yeah, welcome everyone else. So I think
can I just test these headphones quickly? Can you hear me?
Yep.
I know it's muffled, but it's better than hearing the tree surgeon.
Hear you loud and clear.
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
Yeah, I know most of you probably are GS1 UK members already. Data standards that sit behind them. So there's a lot of work we do with supply chains, retailers and marketplaces, many of them which now actually mandate GS1 UK GTINs for that traceability and side of things. So good to have you all with us. And I think we've got a few pre-registered questions. So what we're going to ideally do is bring some of you on screen to ask them, but we'll also just crack through a few of them as well, and then we'll open up to a very open Q&A session, and you guys can ask anything you need help with. So let's kick off, I think.
Should we start with Kate, who's
yeah,
here?
that's exactly it. Let's see if we can. I hope you don't mind, Kate. We're going to try and bring you on screen. So I'm going to promote you to a panelist. Let's just see if the technology works. So Kate, you should be.
Yep, she's there.
I'm unmuted, but my video won't work for some reason, but that's fine.
No worries.
Don't worry, don't worry.
Well, welcome to today's session. I know you registered a question in advance, which was about your Amazon items and the price, I believe, that it doesn't come up when in search.
Yes, that's right. So I've got as far as getting 2 items listed on Amazon. Hopefully I've done everything right up to that point. And I'm managing to find them by searching in the usual search box in Amazon. And then when I see them in the search listings, there's no price alongside the small image and the title.
Right.
Now I've done a little bit of research, and it seems to be to do with something called the buy box, which I then got a bit lost in, forums and Google search and everything. So I don't know if you guys have got a clearer answer.
Yes, that is purely buy box. So quick question, can you share the name of your product so I can have a quick look, or we can have a look?
Yeah, sure. So let me just get logged in so I can see it. My company name is Wonderfuls, but it's spelt a bit strange. It's WUND AFFLES.
AFFLES.
Double F for Freddie.
Oh, okay. Double F. Wonderfuls.
Wonderfuls, yeah, spelt a bit strangely.
Okay.
And I haven't gone through the brand registry bit yet. But what I've got listed are 2 crochet kits. One's a beginner crochet kit, bunny rabbit.
Got it. Got it. Okay. And you registered it when? Was it recently you put it on Amazon?
Yeah, probably
8th of May. Yeah, 2 weeks ago. Okay. So what you've got right now? I can share you the screen if it helps. Here you go. So I can share the screen. So what you've got is you've got the product. It's very new. So Amazon right at this moment in time don't know or trust you, let's say. And it's not you personally, it's the AI. So Amazon AI, everything's about trusting someone. So you've just arrived at Amazon, you listed your product, Amazon's going, right, okay, this is how I see it. But they're saying, right, okay, let's see if someone buys the product and then you ship it and they get it in time, basically. And then once you've done it a few times, it tends to open the buy box. So if you look here, it says see all buying options. If I click on that, then you've got the buy box here, or the add to basket. Now, the very, very, very quick way of doing that, of fixing that, is to ship it into Amazon's warehouse and make it FBA. If you do that, even if you ship 2 into Amazon's warehouse, you'll instantly get the buy box.
Okay.
And then your price will appear in the search straight away, like the minute it arrives in Amazon's warehouse. Now,
that is something that I sort of started going through the steps for. And the first thing it wanted was my VAT number. Now, I'm a very small business, I'm a sole trader, I'm not VAT registered. Is it possible to do FBA without stepping up?
Yeah, I've got companies that do FBA without being VAT registered.
Right, okay.
So you should be okay. I mean, but you'd need to, so what you need to do is actually, instead of just switching it to fulfilled by Amazon, actually duplicating or copying the listing.
Right.
And then you copy the listing and make it fulfilled by Amazon as opposed to fulfilled by you. But then with your SKU, your SKU, just put like a hash FBA at the end of it, so you know the difference between the two. So then you've got effectively 2 listings doing the same thing: one fulfilled by you, one fulfilled by Amazon.
Okay.
And then try and ship in, but there shouldn't be an issue with VAT.
Right. Okay.
From your research, did you find out the principle behind the buy box, or do you need a bit of explanation on that?
I think I get it. I think Kevin's right, that from what I found at least was that, yeah, obviously they don't know that I'm a good seller and that I'm going to ship things on time, and they want that, knowledge about me. Or with the FBA, they want to be able to ship it themselves.
Yeah, so basically the buy box is there to, there's one product page for any product, and then from that you, as multiple different sellers, are allowed to list against that product page. But that could be 10, 15 of you. So Amazon does loads of AI in the background to understand who they think is going to be the best person supplying that product to the consumer, and that's based on loads of metrics. It's lots of special secret sauce that Amazon don't like to talk about, but obviously delivery and price is the main factors. So once you've got the buy box, it's almost 99% given that the consumer is going to buy it from you, because Amazon makes it really easy. But even if you don't win the buy box, there is a way. Obviously, you see buying options, and then from there, that's when you're able to purchase from you. And consumers are able to do that. It's just obviously a couple of extra clicks. So typically, whoever wins the buy box is the person that's going to get that sale for that particular seller. For that consumer, rather.
Yeah, and most brands like yourself, Kate, you don't tend to have anyone else selling your product, so it's you against the AI effectively and the system. So definitely to unlock it, FBA will unlock that, and you'll find as well, as a new brand on Amazon, it's very restrictive towards you getting sales if you've got that extra couple of clicks. Because people, as you know, when they're going through the search, they're just looking at price and clicking and then buying straight away. It's that 2-click kind of action. Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Great. So if you get any problems with it, let us know. In terms of shipping and stuff, we're here for you to help anyway.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. Thank you for your help.
Right, thanks, Kate. Brilliant. I'm gonna pop you back in with everyone else. That should help you back.
I think Amanda has a question actually as well.
Yeah, I noticed.
I've got it.
Hi, Amanda. We're just going to bring you in. We noticed you've registered a question in advance, so you don't have to put your camera on. We can just ask Kevin.
You can put your camera on if you want, if you're feeling brave.
Yeah, by all means.
We don't mind. So Amanda, you're in the room. If you could unmute yourself and just ask the question, that'd be brilliant.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay. So I've made some handcrafted cards, and I tried to list them on Amazon. Obviously, I've done my GS1 barcode. But Amazon say they didn't recognise the GS1 barcode, and they said it might be because I'd only just registered. So I left it a week and tried again, and it was still declining my listing. It was saying that the barcode wasn't recognised. I tried all the different ones, UPC, EAN, GTIN. It wouldn't list on any of them. So I got in touch with Amazon support, and they asked me for some information from my GTIN account, which I sent them. Yep. And they're still sending me information saying, can you send us this, that and the other, which I've already sent. So I don't really know where to go from there.
Can you remember what the error was? So if you see the error saying invalid, and that normally means that you've just chose the wrong product identifier. But if you've already tried,
say valid.
Yeah, if you've already tried the EAN option, which is what Amazon is expecting for a 13-digit number, then that wouldn't be that. So typically after that, it doesn't match the EAN or UPC that you're trying to list against, and that's usually a brand issue. And then, yeah, they would normally ask you for your GS1 certificate, which it sounds like you've already sent them. And is the brand name that you're trying to list against different to your company name or the name that you've given either in your Amazon account or your GS1 account? Is it different names?
No, it's the same.
Okay.
It's quite sensitive, even case, I think, can throw it out from my understanding.
Yeah, a lot of it's done on AI. So the problem is that you always have to get it unlocked somehow. Yeah. And yeah, sadly, Amazon's seller support is a bit of a lottery sometimes. And we do see that a lot of the time you're getting like asked the same question from a few different people. So we understand it can be frustrating, and the errors that you see on Amazon aren't always very descriptive of what you need to do. But I'll let you talk, Kevin.
I was going to say, typically with Amazon, how you've got to do it. So if you send them something via a case, I'll explain how you get it fixed, by the way, Amanda.
Okay, great.
But typically, when you're responding to, or when you create a case on Amazon, you get a response, and it doesn't make a lot of sense. And naturally, we respond back with, but I've just sent you that, and send it again. But what you've got is someone that's effectively clicking a button, or the AI saying, no, that's not what we want. So you've got to change what you're sending them, and you keep tweaking until you get an actual different response.
Okay.
So if you're sending them the GS1 certificate and they're just going, no, it doesn't match, there's something somewhere else. So the process of listing a product today on Amazon across the board, which is really important for probably anyone watching really, is the first step is you need that when you try and list a product, you'll say your brand doesn't match, your barcodes don't work, GS1 doesn't, everything's no, right, to start with. What you need to do first is get your brand name accepted by Amazon. Now, everywhere you go, every YouTube video, every website, you can use generic. That doesn't work either, right? There's no point. We've all got a brand name, whether it's made up or whether it's something we've just started. That's the brand name. So first things first is to get the brand accepted. So did you get the brand name accepted, Amanda?
No, I haven't done anything about the brand name. Should I register it with them?
Have you got a trademark or just the brand at this stage?
No, I'm just starting out, so
good. Okay, yeah. So
literally just made up a brand name.
That's fine. And is the brand name printed on anything? On the card, I suppose?
Well, only on a label on the back, but they haven't seen that.
Right. So that's the label on the back. The best bit of advice I can give you is, if you can, is to print, if it's a logo, let's say, or just the brand name, print it on the back of your card.
Right.
Just a one-off, right? Not for everything else, just one.
Yeah.
If you've got the GTIN from GS1, use one of your image credits, print that out, and print that on the back as well.
Okay.
Also print your company name and address as per Amazon on the back of the card as well, right? So this is just a one-off card. then go to list the product on Amazon using your brand name, not the word generic.
Yeah.
So, and it will then fail, hopefully, which is what you want. If it fails, it will then give you a link. You copy and paste the link onto the new tab, and then it will say, now you need to prove that this is your brand. And that's where you upload the photograph of the back of your package and the back of your card and the front of the card, and say you're a manufacturer, you don't distribute anywhere. You follow a number of questions. It'd be quite straightforward. And then that will effectively accept your brand name, and that will automatically then link into GS1, because if they then say the GTINs don't work, you send the GS1 certificate, everything matches, and you'll be up and running within days. If you can't get a fail,
yeah,
email me and I'll send you a link to force a fail. But I need to know your brand name to do that.
Okay, Marmalade Pond.
Right, so
She's on it.
she's on it like a rocket. So Marmalade Pond, is that capital letters? Capital M or anything like that?
Yes.
Capital M, capital P?
P, yeah.
And I believe that picture, Kevin, when you say picture, it needs to be an actual picture rather than a photoshopped sort of product type picture. It needs to be a real life picture, you sort of with those things on there, rather than sort of a professionally taken product shot, doesn't it?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
And actually, so the thing to bear in mind with this is you're doing that specifically to open or to get your brand name accepted. That image won't appear anywhere; it'll be deleted. But like typically, we will hold the product in our hand and take a picture of it.
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
Because they want to see it's real, and this is the same when you're opening a category as well. So if you're trying to sell, for example, I know you're not, Amanda, but for those that are watching maybe, but if you're trying to open grocery, no point sending your beautiful images on a white background to Amazon. Photograph actual product in your hand using the same thing. So you need to have your name and address on the back. You need to have the GTIN on it. Everything you're looking to do is to prove to Amazon that your products are real, basically.
Okay, that's great. Thank you.
But I think we've got your email, haven't we, Amanda?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, I've got your email, so I'll send you a link to force that.
Oh, that'd be great. Thank you. I've been at it weeks.
Do you know what? We've been at it for years, and it changes all the time. It's what it is with that. With Amazon, things change almost on a daily basis. So we have to. I mean, all we do as a company is Amazon. So that's why we can help on these kind of calls, because we're just up against it like you guys. We just know the quicker way to doing it. That's all.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. I have managed to list other things, things I've got from wholesalers and things. So, I have managed to navigate the system, but just, the handcrafted stuff I can't get through.
And the other products you've managed to list, they were already on Amazon, I take it, were they?
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That's the one that they tell you on all these websites and YouTube videos to go and buy a pallet of stuff and whack it on Amazon. They don't sort of tell you the bit required to build an actual brand yourself. It's the hardest part, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, but all those ones that you are getting from somewhere else, you should always be using their GTINs, not applying your own, because that's where some people get unstuck as well, because they try and give it their own number to try and get its own product page, and then you get yourself in a pickle. So if it's already got a GTIN, use that one, and then you almost cut half of that headache out. But obviously there's more appeal when you're trying to build a brand because you own all of the bits. It just takes a little bit longer in the setup.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. I have done that. I've not navigated shipping yet, but I managed listing.
Yeah.
You'll get there.
It's really to add a product that someone else is selling. It's one click. You just literally put the GTIN in on Amazon, click, I want to sell it. It's new. It's done, really. It doesn't take a lot of skill, but if you've got tons of it, why not, I suppose. But okay, any more questions, Amanda?
No, that's great. Thank you ever so much for that. It's a
Thanks,
real
Amanda.
relief.
Brilliant. Cheers. We're going to pop you back in the room with the attendees, and I think we have a question from Becky Puddick. So I think you're joining us today, so hopefully we can bring you in. Right, Becky, you should be able to unmute.
Oh, hello.
Hi, Becky. How are you?
Hiya, I'm good, thank you.
Good.
So I'm at the stage where I'm I'm obviously setting this up, and I am stuck on my letter of authorization. So I'm a sole trader. I think I must have clicked somewhere that I have a different legal representative of the business, but it's actually me. So I have been in contact with the Amazon sort of help desk, and they just keep saying, I think it's one of those generic.
I've got the letter, Becky. Honestly, I've got a letter. I've got the template. Have I got your email address? I'll send you a template to fill in.
Yeah, do you know, I've used the template. I've done it twice.
But the one that says I Becky allow Becky to sell Becky's product. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know where I've done it like twice now. I don't know if I'm literally using the template that they sent me, and it keeps getting bounced back to me.
And what's the reason they bounce it back?
It just says, let me see if I can find my email. It just says, hello, we are contacting you as we are unable to validate the status of the signatory of the letter of authorization as a legal representative of the business due to the reasons below. And then it lists, a load of different things. What type of document do I need? Again, it's just all sort of
automated, it sounds.
automated.
Yeah. So what's the list of things they asking you to send them?
It says an official business document that clearly shows the signatory of the letter of authorization is either a legal representative, director, or beneficial owner of the business. A written confirmation signed by a director, beneficial owner, or trustee confirming the signatory of the letter of authorization is empowered to act on behalf of the company in the form of a legal representative. The written confirmation should be signed on company letterhead or stamped stating the position of the signee.
So have you done any of that at this point?
Well, the only thing that I can think of is like, have I done sort of like the letterhead? Do I need a logo on it? Yeah,
look, I'll show you what we use here for the power. So this is the letter we use to power to act on behalf of the company. So you put a big logo here, company name and address at the bottom, and then follow that to the T, basically.
I used that exact, basically I didn't put a logo on.
Yeah, you need the logo.
The same, and the company name I put in the top left-hand corner.
Definitely put the company logo.
Yeah.
Because it needs to look like it's ticking a box basically. So it has to look like it's on letterheaded paper, which is basically a logo on a piece of paper, as we all know. The only difference between doing it yourself and going to a printer is that button called print, right? So if you do that, that should be okay. If they then ask for more information, like proving who you are, etc., then as a sole trader, you probably would need to. Sometimes we've had to send in tax returns and all sorts of stuff like that to Amazon, but that logo would probably change everything, I'd imagine.
Okay. I mean, I don't have an official logo. I have my website and I have a certain font that I use, and I do use that on my packaging. Is that something that would be suffice?
You kind of need to have a logo, really. What sort of products are you selling?
It's an online hat store that I've got.
A link maybe you can pop in the chat.
Yeah.
Can you hear that background noise? Okay.
No, you're fine. You're good.
No. Okay, the peps. So what would I recommend? Perhaps get a logo made. You can get a logo generator anywhere online.
Yeah, there's plenty of free ones available online.
Yeah. I mean, the Pep Store is effectively your logo is effectively font at the moment.
Yeah.
Now, there's nothing to stop you from doing a screen grab of the Pep Store.
Yeah.
And putting that top left-hand corner of your letter of authority.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Okay. Is there
cool products, by the way.
Thank you. Is there any way you could send me that template? I know.
Yeah.
It was just so that I could get it, you know, exact. Sort of, I know how particular they are.
Yeah, no problem. I'll send it to you. I'll put my email in here. I think my email probably went out this morning anyway to everyone, to the webinar. But I put my email in here, and you can, if you haven't heard from me by the end of the play today, let me know. But I'll get it over to you.
Wicked, thank you.
But that should, I would imagine that'll fix it. But then at least I can talk you through it anyway. If it does fail, we can work out where to go next. No problem.
Thank you.
Okay.
Great. Brilliant. I think, is that all okay for you, Becky? Yeah, I think, oh yeah, she's got it.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you very much.
No worries. Thanks a lot. Cheers. Right. We've got a few other pre-registered questions, but if anyone has anything that they want to know, do pop in the chat or the Q&A box. We're here to obviously answer any questions you guys have. So anything you need help with in terms of Amazon, unless it's buying products, we're not going to buy any products today. You know,
we can help you sell, yeah. We can help you sell, but we can't help you buy. But obviously, the more you put into these round tables, the more you're going to get out. Don't be nervous. Ask any questions. You can ask them text if you want. We don't have to bring you on stage, as it were.
This is an overview. Yeah, we've got a couple of other pre-asked questions, but it doesn't look like the people have been able to make it to this session, so we might as well concentrate on those that are here. So if you've got any questions, let us know. But the ones that I probably spend most of my life speaking to with our members is usually when they first put the product identifier, so the GTIN, into the ID page. They pick GTIN because that's the correct terminology, but annoyingly Amazon uses the names slightly differently, so they want you to select EAN rather than GTIN. GTIN should only be used if you're selling a whole case and you use a 14-digit number, GTIN 14, to label your cases. So in 99% of the times you're going to use the EAN option. Now, typically what you find is you then get a different error saying that the brand doesn't match, or you're trying to do this something different, and then you need to show what the association is between the brand and the company. So it could just be, as we heard from Becky, it could be the same people and you just need to authorize that, or it could be that you're selling someone else's product. So if you're selling Nike product, for example, but if it's someone else's brand and they've already listed on Amazon and it's already got a GTIN on the product, use that GTIN. Don't apply your own number, otherwise you're just going to end up in a pickle. It needs to be the brand owner. If it's your own product and you're the brand, you are the one that applies the number to it. So you should only be joining a GS1 to get barcode numbers if it's your own product. So they're usually my top questions what I ask whenever someone has a problem with listing or getting live in the first instance on Amazon.
Yeah, and mine is exactly as we were talking about earlier about the brand name. You've got to, like everything Lorna said, plus the brand name is the two things you need to get correct right from the beginning. Yeah. Otherwise, at the moment, you can't even really list the product anymore, to be honest with you, unless you do that. And it's very painful. But I think, like, I talk about the pain of Amazon, and we're not Amazon, so therefore we're not saying Amazon's the best place in the world, but actually, I can understand why they're doing it, because I was hearing stories 5-10 years ago where people were like, there's a few questions asked before here, like, how can we ship stuff direct from China to Amazon's warehouse, right? And if it was me, I would always ship stuff to myself to check it, because I remember someone was selling stuff on Amazon. They ordered a whole pallet to go, or maybe more, 5 pallets went into Amazon of these remote control cars. You know, it goes left, right, backwards and forward. And when they arrived to Amazon, they went straight out to all the customers. They sold loads of them, right? And the cars only went forward and backwards. So every single one was returned. And these were pre the times when Amazon, because in those days, Amazon never used to kind of hold on to some of the money. So now they hold on to some of your money until they understand what your return rate's like, right? So this person got like 100 grand worth of sales in a couple of days, disappeared. So you've got to, so always for quality control, if you're planning on shipping from overseas direct to Amazon, just check it. Check your product, do a spot check before it goes in. You can leave it in storage somewhere for a week. It's going to cost pennies versus the pain of getting the wrong thing in Amazon, really.
Looks like we've got some shy people, so should we just cover some of the questions that some of our other people have sent in?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, hold on, there is a question. Well,
Oh.
it's in the Q&A section.
Oh.
all over.
Yeah.
That's the problem with Zoom. It gives you about 20 different places. Do they expect the brand name to be already trademarked? No.
I think they prefer it to be, don't they? That's the issue.
Well, kind of what they want is, in order for you to sell more, yes, you should have it trademarked. I think that's the answer. And Amazon give you tons more tools if it is trademarked. But what they expect, what they want is your brand name to be real in order to allow you to sell against it on Amazon. So, like if it's Kevin Dix's cheese, it doesn't need, I don't need to trademark it to sell on Amazon, but I've got to prove that Kevin Dix's cheese exists and it's on something, it's on the packet, right? So no, the answer is no, but the true answer is you should trademark. If you're really serious about the business, you should trademark it. It's about 180 quid, I think, to trademark it. You don't need to go through lawyers if you're just trademarking your own brand name. Just obviously check on the IPO website first, but it takes 4 months. Once you've got it all trademarked, you can open things like build a store, which gives you more sales straight away. You can build A+ content, which increases sales between 5 and 15%. So there's a whole lot more you can do with a trademark. But also, as a consumer, if you see something looking great, you're going to be more likely to buy it than something half cooked, which actually is another question we have all the time. How do I get more sales? Firstly, put more effort into your listing. Here's the questions now. There you go, Lorna.
It's always someone's got to go first, haven't they? And then everyone is
it best to register your brand in brand registry first? You can't register your brand in brand registry unless you've got a trademark, Amanda.
So trademark first, brand registry second.
Yeah, trademarks always required first. But you can register. So this is the problem with the wording I'm using, and it's confusing, but there's no way of separating. So to get your brand name accepted isn't the same as registering your trademark on brand registry. Get your brand name accepted means you can list the product against the brand name, Kevin Dix's cheese. But I can't do anything from brand registry until the trademark is applied for. Actually, now that's something that's new, which I found this week, is you can apply for brand registry if your trademark's in pending now. So it doesn't need to be published. That's a newish thing. But what Amazon have done in this last few weeks is they've taken away the button you need to click to say it's pending or registered, and they fail everything when you're applying for brand. So you have to, so if you are registering your brand, take a note of this. If you're registering your brand this week on brand registry, click Australia first, make sure the button's in saying pending or published, whichever one it is, then click on the UK, because the button will have moved because it hides when you do UK. And I've registered a tech adjustment yesterday for that. Anyway.
Always fun and games, isn't it?
Yeah.
Got another one from Ben. Can I ask about listing products in Amazon's handmade section? That is probably one for you, Kevin, because the handmade section doesn't typically require GTIN, so it's not somewhere where we spend a lot of time.
Yeah, I honestly, I've moved people from handmade into normal before, because they've got GTINs. Handmade is just terrible in the back end. It really is really terrible to build products. It doesn't use the same kind of look and feel as Seller Central, as it were. So Amazon Handmade and Seller Central don't look the same or feel the same. It feels really almost amateur when you're building a listing on Handmade. So if you're already on FBA Seller Central, I'll probably stay there, to be honest, Ben. But the procedure to get it set up, I never set it up. I've only ever migrated off, to be honest. So I couldn't really help you on that. What
it might be worth understanding is, why do you want to do Handmade if you're already on the normal one? Is there something particular about? Okay.
I would imagine. I'm sorry. I'm talking out loud by mistake there. Is it because of lack of sales, Ben, or you want to see more sales, or Amazon's inviting you to Handmade? Maybe that's the question. Or do you want to come into the chat?
Yeah, we can try and bring Ben in.
Okay.
find you in the list. There we are. Right, you should be on the way, Ben. Let's just check. Sometimes they don't go in first time around. We'll try again.
There you are.
Oh, yep, there we are. So you should be able to unmute now, Ben, and you should be okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we can indeed.
Okay, I'm on. Yeah, no, it's just a different brand, but I could take it either. I could go FBA standard or handmade, because it's sort of in between. I could sort of market it either way, and I've just been wondering which way to go. So that's interesting. If the handmade section is a bit sort of amateur on the back end, then I know FBA quite well, and I'd rather just stick with that, to be honest.
Yeah, I would say. What is it you're selling, Ben?
So I've got a brand on FBA, which is Venture Zone, which is sort of cut lengths of shot cord, and it's kind of rope products and outdoors related products. Some are sourced, some are a lot are made in the UK, and I do a bit of conversion here and packaging and branding. So I've been doing that for quite a while. Just looking at ways of expanding and bringing other types of products under sort of my umbrella. So this is a completely different brand. It'd be called Tonic, and so I've got the trademark for it, but I haven't registered anything with Amazon yet, and the products are still under development, but sort of near a point where I can launch soon.
And what type of products are they? Are they the same product times 1,000, but they're handmade initially? Or
no, they're quite different actually. So they sort of revolve around CNC machining. So made in the UK, everything made in the UK. There'll be sort of wristwatch stands and kind of interior accessories, just nicely made products from mainly acrylic, birch plywood, FSC sourced, hardwoods, some machined brass and aluminium, steel, that sort of thing. So kind of got more of a handmade feel, but I could quite easily turn that into more of a batch production product that I can apply a barcode to and just sell as sort of limited runs, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it feels to me that the handmade seems to be kind of, I don't know, it feels to me that it was just kind of an afterthought from Amazon, just like we need to do Etsy or not on the high street, and it doesn't really work.
I was wondering if that was, you know, because I was initially looking to do some experimentation on Etsy and see how that goes. I've heard mixed things about Etsy, but I love the convenience of FBA. I can, you know, sort of stick several hundred products in a box, send it off, and I don't have to worry about it. You know, and it just frees me up to do the stuff that I'd rather do.
Yeah, exactly. That actual day job rather than
packing. Exactly that. Yeah.
No, I think, I mean, I would suggest you stick with the same, but for experimenting with like handmade products, definitely not on the high street. I'm hearing some quite good stuff with handmade and Etsy. Yeah, similar. But
yeah, okay.
But definitely do it FBA initially, and I don't. I mean, you'll be using. Sure, you understand Amazon by the sounds very well. So you'll be using all the right terms like handmade and all the keywords anyway. So feature. Yeah. I don't know many people that start on Amazon by clicking on a category or something like that. Everyone starts in search on Amazon. And then arrives at that
absolutely.
part.
Yeah, it's almost like I find the categories quite inconvenient sometimes because, you know, several categories can apply to a product.
Yeah.
And especially something like a length of shot cord, you could stick that in, you know, DIY or sort of backpacking or, you know, anything, maybe kayaking or whatever. But I'm just relying on those search terms, really.
Yeah,
exactly.
No one's going to be searched by the category. It's always just going to be the product title.
Yeah, so
and
it's
also
a bit of a
Amazon
headache to work that out sometimes.
But Amazon do assign as the products get more and more history.
Yeah,
they assign more categories and also can often change the categories as well.
Oh, so that explains why every now and again I'll go into edit a product to update the information, and I'll see categories in there that I don't remember applying.
Yeah,
that's the reason, is it?
And And if you look
okay.
at the listings, if you look at your listings on Amazon on the desktop and scroll down the page, you'll see that sometimes they'll have 2 or 3 categories against it.
Yeah, yeah.
Which you can't do. But obviously, it's just where the AI is saying that actually it's probably better suited here, or so it's always kind of it's always important to get the right category to start with, or the near enough right category. But
yeah,
it all kind of works.
Just go for ballpark.
Yeah, exactly.
Just a heads up for Not on the High Street, I believe it's invitation only, so they have to kind of ask you to do it. So you can't, it's not just anybody can list like Amazon is. And from what I've heard, they do have some exclusivity clauses, so it probably won't like that you've got it on Amazon if you do Amazon first. So if you just want to do some experimentation that's got a bit more of a quick results, then I would go for Etsy over.
Right.
Or if you just wanted to do this as a new, more exclusive thing, then maybe do Not on the High Street first.
That's really interesting. Would I need to approach them to see if they'd be interested? I mean, they'd need to find out about the product, or do you submit a website or something?
They almost have it as like pitches. You pitch to a buyer almost, Not on the High Street. So they try and do it a bit more like the traditional high street model would do. And I think if you go onto the website, you'll do a pitch on product kind of thing, but they also do sort of road shows where you can go and you'll meet loads of them together. So there might be one of those coming up, but it just depends on what angle you want. If you wanted to look after it yourself and get some quicker results and order the product set up, then I'd go with Etsy. If you want a bit of a longer game with a bit more exclusivity, then try Not on the High Street.
I think with that whole tonic brand that I was talking about and the CNC manufacturer, it's kind of, we're talking sort of making, between sort of 10 and 100 products in a day as opposed to thousands. So it's quite easy to customize and make different versions, maybe sort of vary the material slightly so you can get an exclusive product. So it might be
we've done that on Amazon. We've done that on Amazon. Amazon customization. You can do that on FBA. Or not on FBA, on FBN.
I was just wondering if there's a more standard product that goes the FBA route, and then for something like Not on the High Street, you can start to do more exclusive variations of materials and things like that.
What we've got, I've got clients that are on Amazon Custom that we built. So a lot of the stuff we build on Amazon Custom is being used by Amazon internally to basically make their systems better.
Okay.
And so we've built some stuff on Custom, which is so you can do quite a good job on Amazon. Actually, it's better than Not on the High Street in terms of the final, because like we can build it so you actually get a preview of the product. So if it's personalized, you can show the color, the font, the name, for example.
So when you say Amazon Custom, well, is that like a sort of, you can design the pages on the back end? How does that work?
So effectively, you've got in Seller Central, there's when you go and manage inventory, there's a tab or somewhere in there that says Amazon Custom. So you effectively.
Oh, is that like A+ content?
Kind of, but what it is effectively it enables you to use one of your GTIN or one of your products on Amazon. You can then convert it to custom, and then you can build all the different elements. So one GTIN equals 20 different choices of colors, 10 different fonts. And you can, so like if you're doing a personalized, I don't know, t-shirt, you can choose a t-shirt colors, upload an image if you wanted to, but you can show like previews as well.
Okay.
That works, I know for a fact, works better than Not on the High Street, because Not on the High Street you don't get a preview of what you've actually built. Well, you didn't. I think that's still the case. But
so where was that in Seller Central? I've logged in. I'm just having a look.
It should be under inventory. Let me just have a look if I'm logged in.
Yeah.
I'm not in on an Amazon account, but you basically would select one of your products and then make it custom.
Right. Okay.
And then there's a whole. I'll log into it and I'll let you know in a minute. But that would help. But as Lorna says, there are rules. So if you're going to sell on Not on the High Street, you can sell the same product but not offer the same variations, as it were. So if you were selling, I don't know, this thing here. You couldn't sell the same one in green on Amazon if it's on Not on the High Street, but Amazon don't care, of course. But.
No, that sounds really interesting. Because I was sort of looking at doing limited runs of, so where you've got a hardwood, so a hardwood component in a product, and it's CNC machined. I was looking at maybe using like an old sort of reclaimed bit of furniture, like a nice bit of mahogany from an old piece of furniture that's kind of no longer got any use, but you can take that piece of wood and machine it up into a new component, and it's naturally limited because you've only got so much of the material. So kind of market it from that perspective.
That would work for custom. So if you go manage inventory, along the top it should say listing tools below the normal tab, and at the end it should say custom products.
Okay.
And that's where you click on that, and then you convert the products into custom.
Right, I'll have a look. Thanks very much.
Thanks for your question.
No problem.
All right, got a couple more. Got 10 minutes, so let's crack through them. We've got one in the chat. This one's going to be for you, Kevin, I think, from Janine. I sold 8K worth of goods in April. Well, Amazon still haven't paid me. They keep moving the pay date forward. Is that because they want to see how many returns I'm getting? Is this normal? Been selling for about a year.
How long, Janine, have you been selling on Amazon for?
Janine, Janine, I'm going to bring you on lights just in case Kevin has any questions, so you can have a chat.
What does that mean? I've not seen that function before.
That's it.
On live. Got you.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Can you see me or just hear me?
Just
hear you.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, been on Amazon for about a year, but only really started selling, to be fair, kind of March this year. So nothing happened for a while. So yeah, because I only asked because you mentioned earlier about sort of building up history with Amazon. So I just wondered if that was the reason, because we have had a couple of returns, and perhaps that's the example you gave about the cars.
Yeah, it takes normally from when you get your first sale, the first amount coming to you normally takes a couple of weeks, like sometimes a month if it's your first payout. Can you hear me still, by the way?
Yeah,
fine. Sorry, it's all gone very quiet because obviously the guys have stopped me. So what I would say is, if you have a look on your Seller Central, I don't know if you're logged into it now, but
yeah, I am.
If you log on to Seller Central, and if you look at under reports, there's a tab called payments.
Yeah.
Click on that. It should tell you when the next money is due, and at the bottom underneath there'll be like a weird funnel kind of image in blue and orange, blue and red, and it should say account level reserve. If all of your money's in there, that they're just holding on to it, and generally they'll hold on to it for a few days. But there's also a button at the top that says funds available now.
Yeah, there is, and I've done that, and I've put request payment, and it said the payment would come. I think it was a couple of weeks ago. But then when I keep going back into it, and the dates move forward, so I keep doing request payment, but it just doesn't come. It's now saying this. No, what's the date now? It's saying. Don't know.
Have you put your bank details in to get paid into?
Yeah, I have had bits and bobs from other products. I've had a few hundred here and there, but obviously they're holding. The minute they're holding 8,600, so it's quite a lot of money for me to continue trading. It's
a lot of money.
Yeah, so as a small business, and just to keep holding it's really annoying. It just says it's scheduled now for the 1st of June, so that's about a week, isn't it? But it's said that before, and it's disappeared off, and then it says that payment will take 3 to 5 days.
On the left of that page, underneath net proceeds, does it say account level reserve at all?
The account level is 0.
So everything's been transferred. Underneath that it says transfer of eight grand scheduled on the 1st of June.
It just says account level 0, beginning balance 8,600, net proceeds 8,600. Maybe it will come in, but I just wondered what the reason as to why.
It might be because you've suddenly had a massive increase of sales,
Yes.
And they and what type of product is it you sell, Jenny?
Barbecues, which
Oh,
makes
right,
sense
so
because it's the time of year.
perfect timing, yeah. So what you'll probably find is then, because of the type of product, so also type of product relate to when they release money as well. So for example, if it's like, I don't know, a food product, they tend to hold the money less long because people tend to eat it. If it's a big old electronical product, you might find the money's held back a bit longer. I think probably the first month, so you're about a month in, I think that I would imagine that money will arrive with you on the first. Because you've proven, because everyone, like, you've got to think of the customer journey. If everyone's had their barbecues now for a month, the chances are they would have used it once, because we've had good weather anyway. But you tend to use something within that period of time. I think if it was like I don't know, some sort of anti-aging face cream that takes 6 months, then you might find them that hold the money a little bit longer if your face is going to burn off and stuff. But
yeah. Okay, so maybe in the future, well, it's going to be next year now, isn't it? So maybe in the future they'll pay it a bit sooner, because but then again, I guess it's not going on me, it's going on the product, isn't it? Like you say. So I'll perhaps always suffer these long.
I don't think you will.
On eBay, I'll get the money like next day. They're so fast, so it's a real pain that Amazon are as slow as they are.
I think it's Amazon basically have this reputation that most people think they're buying from Amazon rather than buying from the seller.
Yeah.
Whereas on eBay, you think you're buying from a seller, from anyone. You think you're buying like a flea market, right? You think you're buying from anyone. Whereas with Amazon, it's their brand, so they have to make sure that, you know, if someone suddenly starts, what it is because if you've sold, let's say you sold 300 quid worth of stuff a month, and suddenly it goes from 300 quid to 8,000. They go, oh, hold on a minute, what's going on here? That's the AI. That's not Amazon distrusting you. It's just the AI saying, well, hold on, let's just see what the response is going to be like. Are there going to be loads of returns, etc., etc. So generally, it's within a month after you have a big spike, you get the money. So it sounds like you'll be getting it on the first. I would be pretty confident you'll get that as well.
Okay, so if I don't, I'll query it then.
Create a case and then get them to ring you. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
Go to help, create a case, and get them to phone you.
Yeah. If I'm ringing's better. The email is you just get standard responses all the time.
Yeah, canned responses. And we all know why they do it, because you've got 1.5 million sellers. You need canned responses, really. But,
true.
But let us know how you get on with that.
Okay, thank you.
We've got another. I mean, it doesn't help you. We'll be doing another one of these in about 3 or 4 weeks' time, I think, from now.
Okay.
So,
cool. Thank you.
Okay. All right. No problems. Is there any other questions?
No, I don't. No, thank you.
Okay. No problem.
Cool. I'm just going to go to Tim, but I think we've lost him. Must have disconnected.
Otherwise, let's see what we've got here.
We've only got 3 minutes anyway.
Right. Well, I think we might.
There's a Q&A one about a gluten-free product.
Yeah, that's the follow-up for the brand name.
Okay, I'll quick read. I think I just didn't.
So I'll read it out for you. I have a brand and a gluten-free product and specialty coffee. I also have seller account, but not listed my products yet. What are the next steps you recommend? How will we find out what the costs are involved? Amazon's margin for specific products, so for a coffee, basically.
Yeah, so Amazon's margin is between 8 and 15%, depending on the product, as a rule of thumb. Yeah. You can find that if you Google Amazon FBA. So if Amazon fees, they always charge a commission. Then if you're in Amazon's warehouse, you have what's called FBA fees, so the fulfillment, pick, pack, and ship fees. If you Google Amazon FBA fees, you can find like a PDF online, which will tell you all of their fees based on the size and weight. So every product has a different size and the weight, so therefore has a different cost structure. Next steps recommend, well, it depends if these are your branded products or someone else's branded products. If someone else's, you can just, as Lorna was saying earlier, if you've got a barcode on the back of them, go to inventory, add a product, and then basically sit on someone else's listing who's already listed it, and that will tell you the costs involved. And if it's your own product, you need to get your brand name registered. Yeah. Not trademark, but registered and accepted.
And then ideally get the trademark and then do brand registry.
Yeah, in that order. If you're not registered, brand accepted, trademark, bang. But do the Australia thing I talked about earlier.
Well, hopefully the developers will fix that. That won't be a long-term thing.
They won't.
Fingers crossed. All right.
Well, I think yeah, I think that brings us to the end of today's session. We will be doing these monthly. So we'll of course pop a recording of this on our website, and we'll send you a link to that so you can review back. But if you didn't get a chance to answer any questions or anything else changes in the next month, we will be doing these monthly, so please do come and join us. I know there's a lot of questions about brand and IP. If anyone does want to look at getting anything trademarked or protecting their IP, we do have a preferred partner which we can happily recommend, and they will do you a free consultation. So again, do reach out if you need any help there. Otherwise, thanks very much for your questions. Please do obviously share this around for the next one, and yeah, we'll see you back soon, or not. Hopefully you get on all right.
but actually, if we have helped you or if we answered your question, it'd be great for you to come back and tell us how you got on, because yeah, we've done a lot of these and people don't tell. I mean, obviously a lot of people email me and I help them. I know where they've got to. But the people we're talking to in these chats, it'd be great if you can come back and tell us how you got on, because otherwise we might be leading you up the wrong path, maybe.
Brilliant. Okay, guys, have a good day. Thanks very much.
Cheers.
Cheers. Bye-bye.